We were to return to the river palace, our son borne on a tide of ballots, as if the current itself had remembered our name and carried it back upstream. Yet even as the lamps along the Pasig rehearsed their little tremors of allegiance, I knew the address was a costume, and the house of power a smaller, colder room. It lay under glass, like a winter pond with a single fish that would not consent to die. My love, do you hear me across the varnish of years? 3 knocks, 3 heartbeats, 1 secret that keeps its own time. He sleeps with lids lowered like blinds, and still he watches. They called it excess, as if beauty were a theft rather than a tithe laid upon the altar of a country and a man. Every pair of heels is a rung of a staircase we climbed when the music said we must. Every silk a flag that remembered how to flutter without wind. There are promises that fatten the air until even the quiet has weight, and our power, so they begrudge, has a way of returning to its seat even when escorted out. Tell me when beauty became a sin and who wrote the law in that crooked hand. Their envy rattles like cheap cutlery. I dine with crystal. My darling, I say into the hush that never quite hushes. My darling beyond the measure of clocks and muscle. I will not let the thin frost of silence grow thick upon your face. I polish it with speech until it gleams like an heirloom. You do not answer, but somewhere beneath the formalin stillness a smile travels, slow as groundwater, and I am the only country it crosses. I hear you, my love. I always have. The old flowers keep their breath in rooms that remember their own names. Chandeliers cough up light. Stairs rehearse the ceremony of descent. In the mirror I am doubled, the queen of bright show and the mother of careful untruth, and both of us step to the same tune as if we learned it in different winters. The glass makes faithful copies of a world that never was faithful to begin with. I hold them as a woman holds grief, close enough to warm, far enough not to burn. I love you, all of you, even the parts that are not mine to love. There are works that must be finished before the sun pries its fingers into the concrete, before anyone has time to ask where the daylight went. Time is a foreman who never looks back. Sweat and bone do not bargain with him. Something slips into the wet gray and the gray sets over it. The ledger knows how to balance in silence. Cement is a good priest. It keeps confession. We did what mornings required and pretended to hear only the birds. I refused the noise of parades for your leaving. I would not give you to the public earth with its appetite for spectacle. Up here, where the north wind combs the curtains and the sea keeps counsel with the dark, your whisper finds its old corridor to my ear. Do not leave me. No, I say, not to the ground and not to the hour that would take you. We can always send them a story to bury in the hero's field. Let the lie wear a soldier's coat while the truth sleeps at home. I dispatched a shadow in your stead and stowed the body of you like contraband light. Let them say the word they need to say, hero or something heavier, and I will nod like a woman who has made peace with grammar. I keep the key the way widows keep weather, in a pocket near the pulse. When the lid shuts on their ceremony, another hinge opens on our fact. The secret does not ask to be believed, it only asks to be kept. Daily I arrange the reliquary of us, medals and paper saints, ink and proof, the rosary of cause and consequence, powder for light, prayer for quiet. Habit is the rope we climb back into ourselves upon. The hum of the drip sings a housekeeping hymn, and I answer it with a mirror and a steady hand. No one forgets what I choose to remember, least of all my love. The palace and the house are twins joined at the corridor, 2 red runners sewn end to end by rumor and recollection. In one, I am worshipped. In the other, I worship. Open a window and the music of a younger century wanders in with the dust. And my name, which I alone pronounce correctly, returns to me like a bird that cannot migrate. Geography is a trick of carpenters. Power is the echo between rooms. At 3 in the morning, the kitchen is a theater where the unspeaking earn their bread by swallowing their questions. A chair scuffs above like a measured verdict. A small law about no questions hangs crooked and keeps its balance. They know the ritual we taught them carefully, and they know the price of language in a house built of it. The tongue grows heavy, the understanding light as money in a palm. Silence, too, can be a salary. Do not tremble at the scent. I tell them, this is the perfume of command. Atomized gardens braided with the antiseptic cleanliness of forever. Between those two notes we live, fragrant and undecaying, a duet of blossom and glass. He sits behind me in the mirror as naturally as a memory sits behind a life. Attentive, patient. Power is a room with good ventilation. It carries. And I am its window left slightly open. Left, right, one step. Sway. We study the floor as if it were scripture, and we were promised a country at the end of a stanza. Tonight you are alive in the arithmetic of our bodies, and the veranda is a ballroom given its old name back. The wind learns the melody and the dark keeps time with us. Applause is only the sea pretending to be people. The night thickens like gravy, and yet my heart is light as unspent laughter. We dance because the clock insists and because we don't. From over your shoulder I speak, and the yard gathers its congregation of silhouettes, hard hats and broken spectacles, and a mother's shawl, like parishioners too decent to interrupt. They come and go with focus, the way the guilty do, polite to book. If there are eyes, let them witness. Love is the only ordinance this province still enforces. And if memory owes, I am the bank that does not close for holidays. The watchers crowd the seam of the door, their faces learning how to be furniture. The candle performs its small martyrdom. Our waltz stutters, and I clutch at the chest that refuses to sink. The tiara abandons its little throne and rings against the tile as if to be crowned anew. Forgive me, my love. My knees have known so many staircases. No, we will not stop. Do not leave me to daylight. There are still 100 nights in this night. Dawn stains the edges of things. The attendants restore you to your cool temple, and the hinges close with a courtesy click. The sea risks silver. The balustrade answers in kind. And I remain where the breath fogs the glass into crescent moons under my fingers. Music ends. Vow continues. As long as our names ripple the cloth above the flagpole, you will not belong to soil. I keep the key. The door keeps me. The papers arrive, heavy with praise for the sun, as if type were a form of rainfall and the streets were thirsty. I pass beneath the portraits as though under a weather system. The ceilings crack maps an absent door to a room who never had the decency to need stairs. Close one door and the sky draws another. This is architecture's first lie and history's last. The dust is thicker than the news. Both try to cover something. I let them. In the small chapel, I lean into the habit of it. Once, twice, thrice upon the glass, and the sound goes out like a bell to summon what we are. My reflection steps forward until it fits over his face as a mask fits over a pilgrim. And for a breath, we are the same person rehearsing two ends of a sentence. 3 knocks, 3 answers. Love, power, forgetting. Between them I live, the woman who waltzes with Ferdinand, whose dance the world insists is over, while we both know the day has not yet learned how to end.